Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Thursday, January 27th, 2022. Well, Apple's earnings have now come out. The stock closed at 159.22. The stock is now trading at 164.13 as we go up and down the scale. The earnings were better than expectations, but they didn't necessarily blow the doors off of the house. And that does not suggest that we're going to get a tremendous rally, although right now we've gotten a pretty strong move up. We've jumped about $75 in the NASDAQ 100. Now, the market has been anticipating these earnings since the start of the earnings reports came out. Now it's here and everyone gets to digest it. We're seeing them rush back in to buy this stock. We still have yet to get any information on forward guidance from Tim Cook, and that'll begin, I believe, in 20 minutes or maybe even longer. I think it might even be 2:30 Pacific time, in which case there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of speculation as everybody tries to square off positions and get themselves ready for going forward. In any case, let's dive into what took place in the NASDAQ today and see where we are, what could be going on, and where we can end up to finish the week tomorrow. So initially, I continue to look at this movement here off of yesterday's 14,639 high as that's the completion point for the minute 4, and we're in a minute 5th wave down, which will then in turn complete the minor C wave, complete the intermediate 4th wave. That continues to be what I am looking for. Now, what happens in between could really prolong this bottoming process and getting ready for the next advance, or it could quicken it. So we still do have Amazon needs to report, Google needs to report, Facebook needs to report, PayPal, NVIDIA. We still have them out there that need to report earnings. But Apple was today. Apple is now contributing to them starting to buy up other stocks. Even Tesla is going to go up on Apple's earnings. It all becomes very interesting, but it just is I'm not sure, but it's the way the market just reacts to things. If bullish for one, it's got to be bullish for all. We'll see. In any case, I continue to look at this as a minute wave 5 down. And this was wave 1, wave 2, wave 1 of 3, 2 of 3. Okay, now, here is the alternate view of what this could possibly be. We have an ABC, then we have an ABC and X. Then we have an A and a B, and now we're moving up in a C wave, which would be expected to take out 14,410, which is where we stopped today at that resistance, and more than likely reach up and take out 14,639. It could still be a 4th wave. We got to go way back before we can determine. We still have that no break line at 15,152. Do I expect that strong of a rally? Absolutely not. Not tomorrow. If it did happen tomorrow, it would rock my world. Let me just say, rock my world. In any case, what I think we can have is a decent rally back up in the form of a C wave to complete what would then be counted as a double ABC. And under Elliott, how that all works out, you get one ABC, it's separated by what we call an X wave. It's a 3-wave down, and it's an X wave. And then we start another ABC. We've seen triples in that. And let me just also preface that by saying they often happen in the 4th wave. And it's very indicative that, that it's coming in early and we're still going to drop, but it'll be quick, severe, done, and then you're on to the next move. So that could be the case that we're going through right now. We'll see how this is all interpreted, how the forward guidance goes, what the market ends up doing in the Asian markets, in the European markets, and then again, by the time it gets passed back to the US. Now, yesterday, we saw the Asian market sell off or sell the US into their trading hours. Then they did pick up the rally, but once Europe opened, boom, it was take it up, take it up. By the time it got passed back to the US, we were pushing higher, and we again pushed higher up to the high at 44.09 at about 10 o'clock Eastern. And then we started to sell off, and we just continued to sell off for the balance of the day. And many points of that were pretty intense. And it looked like we were heading down in what I was considering a third wave. It still might be a third wave. Let's not forget that if we're counting this as a 1 of 3, 2, and this is a 2 of 3, 2 of 3 can come all the way back and retest that high before it just turns and collapses. 2 of 3 can certainly come back to the 50 at 14,215. So, and they got the 20. So we do have resistance on the way up, but I want to give both sides of the coin here on an upside and a stronger upside, and so that we know what we're working with tomorrow. And again, let me just also preface by saying tomorrow is again a weekly expiration. A lot happened in those Apple options today, and they're continuing to buy. That's all going to have an effect on Apple, on how much stock is going to get changed, and et cetera, et cetera. So it wouldn't surprise me if Apple's forward guidance is all pleasing to the market. Seeing this stock go to 170 tomorrow is an easy call. So, but also seeing it go to 160 or 155 could be just an easy of a call, depending again on what now comes through on the forward guidance on the conference call. Back to the NASDAQ. Apple is the largest weighted stock in the NASDAQ 100. It also carries a heavy weighting in the S&P. The move thus far has already brought the S&P back to unchanged for today, unchanged. And then also Visa and MasterCard reported, not that they're not in the NASDAQ, but Visa and MasterCard reported, and that's pushing the Dow and the S&P. So a lot of things going on that needs to be all factored in, and before we can really choose direction and figure out what the markets want to do tomorrow. Now, here's how I'm going to leave all of this for the NASDAQ. I am not changing the count. I do not think we have bottomed in this particular sequence. I'm still looking for a move that's going to come down and take out this 13,706 low and start to bring us into this area where I feel that, number one, the wave, if it's a down cycle, that wave 3 of C, I think could bring us down into this level, possibly as low as 13,216. Wave 5 projects also to that level. So minute 5, I think the third has got to come down and break this low here at 13,706, maybe bring it down to 13,488. We get a wave 4 rally, then we come down in that fifth, and that brings us into here. We do have potential where it could start to drop, get as close as it can to 13,000 before deciding to rally again. We've already gone over. Should it break 13,000, it's going to present a pretty stark picture because in actuality, the market can't start to break below intermediate wave 1 and still remain. So again, should we get close to that, I'll review that situation. But right now, I'm just looking out for what we think can happen tomorrow. If the market turns and continues to move higher and blows through the 50-day moving or the 50 moving average, which sits at 14,214 right now. If it blasts through that level, then yes, we're going to see some upward acceleration. Then we have a very strong possibility that we have an ABC for the first cycle, and then we have an X wave, and this is wave A, this is wave B, and we're going to do a C wave up, and it could reach all the way back up to 14,639 or 40. We've got the 200 sitting up at 14,665. Now from here, that's a 500-point move. So they would really have to pick up the pace and start to really blast this thing through the roof. So can the NASDAQ put in a 600-point rally? Well, sure, it can. Is that something I would expect from the NASDAQ? It depends on how desperate they are to cover shorts and to get themselves long and whatever's going on. But I would not expect that, because in reality, I've seen a 500-point rally, but I don't remember seeing a 600-point rally in one day in the NASDAQ. 400, 500, yes, we've seen it. 600, maybe there's always a first time. So for tomorrow, we have a dual scenario going here. Continued upside, we got it covered. It would break above 14,213, which is where the 50 MA sits. It would break above resistance at 24.25. It would break above resistance at 44.10, 11, right in there, and start heading up to break above 14,639. How much of that can get done? I think we'll get clues. If it pulls, it gets back up to 14,410 and can get above it and then stops there, then it's pretty much going to be much clearer that we're likely going to finish it and it's a double ABC. Now, continued downside, we have that price support at 13,945, which basically was today's low. Then we have additional price support at 13,844, which was yesterday's low, Globex low. Then we have 13,760, 13,706, 13,682, and then we start to break. 50% for wave 5 is at 13,488, and then we have 13,216 and on down. I'm going to include it down to 13,016-ish, down to that 13,000 round number, just because the market absolutely could do that. But then again, from where we are right now, we're talking 1,000 points. Can the NASDAQ do that? Yes, but in one day, wow, it would be a crash. It would be a pretty severe crash. Are there things out there that could actually produce that kind of a move? Yeah, there are, but we got all this very positive news from the positive player there in the NASDAQ 100, heavy duty in the Dow and in the S&P. In fact, I think it's in all four. I think it's in the Russell as well. So we got a lot on the line. Trade smart, trade according to what the price action is telling you, to where the markets are lining up with the moving averages. Always pretty much count on, if they start to break the 20 and the 50 in either direction, you're likely going to see additional pressure in the direction of the break. So if it's breaking up, you're going to see pressure, that buy pressure start to increase to push the market even higher. Conversely, if we get above and we start to come back and we're breaking below those moving averages, it's going to put additional sell pressure back on the market, and we again be able to see some acceleration. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave it. Trade smart, be careful, do not get married to any position, don't try to pick a bottom and don't try to pick a top. Let the market tell you. Our next update will be on Sunday, January the 30th.